Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the interview diaries. This is Nicole Garbellini from Aurora Theatre. We haven't been around for a while, actually, so I hope you missed us. And from COVID and Cigarettes, here we are back with new people, new interviews, and new projects. So today with me, I am joined by Davina Lee Carrete from Treasure Chest Theatre, and with her, there are the other actresses involved in the intervention, Shafin Azim, Sarah Wan, and Chloe Grimmet. Girls, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. So, okay, so the intervention is on right now as we are speaking. So we want to know everything about it. So Davina, let's begin with you. You are basically a pioneer in Hong Kong. You are the pioneer of devised theater. So this was your creation, your idea that you developed with your cast and the people involved in the project. So please tell us more about it.
I actually had the intervention as my first project 3 years ago. And I was just thinking, what could I do to adapt to COVID and not performing live? And I just was stuck, and I thought, well, maybe it's just not going to happen. And then I thought, well, the intervention could be redone on a Zoom call, and it could be pretty engaging. I think if it is what it is, then the audience might be able to lean into it much easier. So I auditioned, and I got an amazing group of actors, and we devised a brand new intervention. So it's very different from the last one.
I remember watching the last one. Do you remember the time when we could go to the theater?
No.
Yeah, these were good times. But you know what? As you said, like, this hasn't stopped you from creating, from coming up with ideas. At the end of the day, you guys are still there telling stories. You're only changing the format of how you're telling the stories, but you're still doing it. So that's great. That's fantastic. All right, Chloe, I want to start with you. So please tell us more about your character. Who are you playing?
So I play Charlotte. She's kind of the main character, but actually, on reflection, she's not really the main character. I feel like everybody in the play has an equal part. It's definitely a team project. But Charlotte is the kind of focus, in the sense that she is the character who has an issue with alcohol and drugs, and so she is the character who is intervened upon. So my character, I guess she's very troubled, but on the surface, she's really good fun. She's very personable. She's really charismatic. And she definitely has some good connections with the other characters. She's just very flawed. So that is kind of like the crux of the play, is that she has some issues that she needs to deal with. And so the play is about her friends coming together to try and help her. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm thinking of the first time that I saw it. So last time it was a guy having problems, and this time is a lady. So you kind of changed that, swapped around. And Sarah, what about your character? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, I play Beth. So she's kind of like the mama figure, that we're all work colleagues. And Beth is, she's an art teacher, and she just wants to please everyone. She's very genuine, but she's quite naive. And she, bakes things for people and brings it to the staff room. It's like, is everyone okay? And that kind of thing. And she arranges the intervention for Charlotte. And she just wants to keep everything on track. And she ends up calling up this guy who she listens to his podcasts. Another actor plays Josh Zen. And so she calls him up and asks him to help out with the intervention, because she really doesn't know what to do. But she knows that she wants to help. So she's just she's a people pleaser. I think that's probably the best way to describe Beth. She just wants everyone to be okay all the time, but it's almost overbearing.
Okay, thank you. And Shafin, on to you. Tell us about your character.
Hi, yeah, I had to mute myself because I didn't realize my cat was in the room. It's like meowing, if that's what you heard. So I pardon?
Cats are welcome.
Oh, yay. You're okay then. Yeah, so I play Lana. She is one of the newer teachers in the school, and she's come from the States. She's an expat. So she's younger in age, closer to Charlotte. So she is kind of a partier. She was a bit more of a partier before she came to Hong Kong, but that's kind of why Charlotte and Lana kind of, are alike, and they end up going out together and stuff. And she is a little bit of a gossip. She does like those, water cooler gossip sessions. So there's a little bit of tension that arises between the two. I don't want to give all of it away, but she gets into a little bit of a situation with her, and her mood kind of shifts toward the second half of the show. So that's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to give too much away. I don't know what I want to say or not. So but that's Lana.
Yeah. I want to ask you a lot of questions, but I also don't want to spoil the surprise. I also want to watch it, so don't tell me too much. Okay, but let's talk about, so you, Davina, you have worked with people and devised theatre projects over the last 3.5 years. So this is the first time that you actually work remotely. You conducted rehearsals on Zoom, and I have watched your productions before. They're really physical. They were really physical. They were really they really needed the kind of teamwork to develop that physicality that filled up the stage. So this time, of course, it will be different, and without spoiling the surprise, of course, how did it work out for you? How did you do it? What ideas did you have this time that you had to change in order to adapt for a remote production?
I've sneaked in that bit of movement. So I actually got to have the actors over, and we filmed in my house. I wanted to have a go at editing. I ended up getting a very nice person to do it for me, actually. But I wanted to have a go at filming and making that movement piece, because I love the real stuff, but I also love the fantasy part of my brain, if that makes sense. So that was done right at the beginning, and no characters were formed wholly. And then when we went back onto Zoom for the rehearsals, the process was actually really fun, and I really got to really direct more personally with and individually. And a smaller cast is much easier. My casts have been 9 people, and that's been a little tough, but it's been a really great process, and I don't know if I'd want to do it again, but it's worked out really well. Thankfully.
I'm sorry, how many people in this cast?
5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Easier, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So it's been a really great process, and I think mainly because the cast are open and trusting. They're really, really super to work with. So we're very lucky.
Awesome. Well, it makes a difference. So yeah. Okay, great. And ladies, so I'm going to pass it to you. How did it work out for you? How did you work together before? Did you have a chance to work together before? Was it the first time?
I had never met any of the cast members before. So yeah, this is our first project together. So we didn't have any familiarity before doing the intervention together. I can't speak on behalf of everybody. I'm not sure if everybody knows each other. I know some people like Sarah and Eugene had done some actors gym stuff together, but I think most of us, well, definitely me, it was the first time working with everybody. But we instantly connected, which I think is partly because of the improvisation workshops we did with Davina to start with. You bond very quickly when you're doing those kind of activities together. So it really helped to form relationships.
That's great.
Well, so I actually, yes, through Actors Gym as well. I met Eugene and Sarah, but and Davina at Actors Gym, but actually I've actually done the vagina monologues as well with Davina a few years ago. And yeah, Chloe I'd never met before, but Amy we had this thing like, where have I know I've seen you somewhere, and then I was like, oh, I realized that she was in Panto, the last Panto, you know. But then a few weeks into it, we're like, someone had posted, I think it was one of our live theater reads that we've been doing, some of the play readings we've done online, and there was a picture of one of the readings we've done, and Amy and I were in the same screenshot. We're like, oh my God, we were in the same show and we don't even remember that. So we're like, oh, COVID, what's it done to our minds? We don't know where time's gone. So that was a nice coincidence. Yeah.
Great. And what kind of, I mean, this is very different. This is very new, not just for you, but for everyone else who is involved in theater, in the arts, and find themselves using Zoom or other platforms, remote platforms, to create stories, tell stories, and create theater. So what kind of challenges have you experienced in this project, for example? What were the challenges for you?
I'll start. You know what? It's the process and everything else, the easier. But selling tickets has been really difficult. I think it's a hard sell. Yeah, so that because like the pictures of a Zoom call might not be so enticing if you've been on Zoom all day, and so I had to think about how to market it to try and convince people. So that's been the main challenge for me personally. Yeah.
What about you girls?
Can I say being live? Like for now, can I go? I'm just gonna go let my cat out. That's one of the things because he can't stop meowing. Definitely. And I had rain the other day during one of the shows, and it was so loud because I have an aluminum landing outside my AC. So it was like really like pounding off of that. I was like, oh my God. So tech has definitely been one of the challenges on this show. But I'll just let him out and I'll come back in a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Shafin about like the pets. My dog barks in every single show that I'm in, and and it's like, you know, things that are just unpredictable, right? Like I don't know if like my neighbors are gonna go out in the hall or like that kind of stuff. It's unpredictable, like the tech stuff, and you don't know if your internet is gonna cut out or that kind of thing. But I think that's the fun of Zoom theater, and like in my opinion and experience, even being an audience member, that's the kind of thing, I guess it's because I'm an actor as well, like if something happens, I'm like, I get you, like I got you, it's fine. As like an audience member, I feel like you're okay, you're doing fine. So it's tough, but it's an experience. You just have to chalk it up to like, this is the reality of the situation.
Aside from the technical issues, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Aside from the technical issues, I think what I found very difficult is being able to visualize how the show will look, like the end products. Like we always worry about like how we're perceived on social media or what we look like when we're on screen. Like, do I look fat, or do I look like the way I want to look, or do I does my hair look like I want it to look? And that kind of definitely is something that I'm thinking about when I'm on screen, because it's different to being on stage in a way. I don't know how to describe that better. My words are not really portraying it very well, but yeah, the idea that you're being viewed in a digital format is definitely something that I'd never really comprehended when acting before, and now it's something that we're having to think about. It kind of adds another level to the process.
Yeah, I think there is a difference between like film and theater acting, right? So then being on Zoom, we're doing a play, but then at this time it adds that little film like on camera element. And then also I guess the show being more realistic, you also don't want to be like over dramatic. So that's been very interesting. Like the mind's been buzzing a lot. Like we're watching ourselves in the screen, watching others' reactions and thinking the too much, too little. Yeah.
Yeah, because of course, like a lot of people in the cast have probably done acting on film, but this is acting on film live, so it's like a mix between stage acting and film acting. You can't do a retake, and it's also it's irreversible in a way, so you kind of have to get it right. But yeah, so it's an interesting process. Definitely, it adds an element that I think most of us are quite unfamiliar with.
Do you think that this form of storytelling remotely is here to stay, or not? The question should be, is COVID here to stay? That would be the main question. But since we cannot answer that, and since we are all theater practitioners, I want to hear what you think is the future of theater, especially like Hong Kong theater. But it's irrelevant now, because by doing this, we have no geographical barriers. In fact, like I believe that now there are a lot of people and projects that collaborate all around the world, because the barriers are not that, except for the time difference, but that's not a problem. So what do you think? Do you think that this is going to be the future of theater, or will it change?
Well, I think it could well be. I think it's great in some respects, they're doing the live play reads with colleagues here in Hong Kong. We get to perform with other people across the road, across the world, and also the audience, they can go and, grandma with no legs can see their granddaughter. So it's like really, I really want to rephrase that, but it's like
really accessible.
More accessible. That's what I should have said. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it is here to stay. I think COVID and more viruses will happen. But I am doom and gloom, so maybe ask someone more positive.
I think go ahead, Sarah, you go first.
Okay, thanks. I think it's probably going to be a bit of a mix. I think because of what has been proven that can be done on Zoom and with Zoom, people are going to be more like, okay, this is doable, therefore we can do it in this respect, so making it more accessible. I really, really want to get back in the theater. I think everyone does, right? But the fact that it's possible to even take a theater performance and film it and put it on, so that it can be accessible. One of my favorite things about this has been working with people all over the world. And like my parents get to watch me perform now, which they never have since I've been overseas, which has been for a while. So that kind of stuff is kind of cool. But, I think it's going to be a bit of a mix. Like there's positives, but there's also, things we're all like, just want to get back. That physical theater, I really miss that.
I can be honest, with COVID, I think I've gotten more lazy. So even like classes that, now that we've opened up a bit more in Hong Kong, friends might be having some class. I'm like, oh, is it going to be live streamed as well? Can I join from there? But I do think if COVID does go away and like, you know, restrictions are gone, I don't know if Zoom, I don't think it'll replace live theater at all, especially in theater. Maybe we might add, like there might be more of these going on since we know that it can happen. So we might have extra kind of shows, but I think live theater will always be, there's, you know, just being in the theater, both for the audience and the performers. It's like a whole different experience, even something that film can't give you, you know. But maybe there are now a lot of theater has learned how to film themselves, so they might then film a theater production and then place that online, so it might be that added accessibility, added revenue stream as well, right? So people are going to need to recover all the losses that they faced the past year. And yeah, I guess people have learned how to pivot with COVID, so just added stream. I don't think it's a replacement at all, like Zoom. And especially here, you can't overlap, right? Unless technology changes, you can't have cross conversations. You always have to wait till the other person finishes, otherwise you keep cutting off and can't hear what the other person's going to say. So that's my thought. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It might be, you know what, it could be like, maybe we'll use both. Maybe maybe having both will be acceptable. Maybe we can still go to the theater and one day and have this, because like the good thing about Zoom is that it reduces costs. You have no costs, basically. You don't pay for a theater, and that's a pretty good thing. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. Do you guys miss traveling?
Of course. Of course. The sky blue.
Exactly. Before I step on a theater, I want to travel first. What about you?
I miss the other cities. I don't miss the packing and unpacking and having to like travel in between. So teleportation, anybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, I don't think I miss it as much as other people do. I mean, you know, I miss going home for Christmas this year and that kind of thing. But, you know, again, there's pros and cons. Like I recently moved to Hong Kong in August. So I wasn't really itching to go anywhere just because I'm like, I want to explore where I am. But I agree with Chloe, like, yeah, of course, you know.
I really miss the ritual of flying. Like I have a very, very particular ritual when I get on a plane in Hong Kong to do a long haul flight back home, that I will have a Bloody Mary when I get to the airport, and then I will have another Bloody Mary when I get on the plane. I think maybe I'm method acting before I actually ended up getting the role of Charlotte. Um, then I eat my dinner and then I fall asleep and I sleep for 8 hours. Then I'll wake up and I'll have another Bloody Mary before the plane lands.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I bookend my journey with Bloody Marys.
Not just the character.
Yeah, but the thing, I never drink Bloody Marys normally. It's just a travel thing. Like it kind of like it's like synonymous with the feeling of going on holiday. Is this like a Bloody Mary?
Someone told me that it's good for your circulation. Someone told me that bloody
Exactly. Yeah, because it's got vitamins and a little bit of vodka to thin the blood. Like it's very good for flying.
To thin the blood.
I love it. I love it, and I really miss it. I miss, well, more than the alcohol. I miss the ritual, like the excitement of doing this little like pattern. Because I don't drink Bloody Marys normally. This is just my holiday thing. It's just the thing that I do when I go on holiday. And I miss so much that excitement of like going and doing something that's unusual to my everyday. Yeah. And of course, like I just really freaking miss my family and my friends back home. So yeah, I can't wait until we can actually like get on a plane and go somewhere different to Hong Kong.
Chloe, where is home for you? Is that South Africa or England?
It's actually England. I grew up in South Africa, in Lesotho, which is a mountain kingdom in South Africa, but England is home.
Okay.
England is where family and my friends are.
Okay.
Mm.
Great, cool. Okay, so I would like to ask you one more question about Treasure Chest Theatre. So I know that you had a production going on right now, so your hands have been full, but what will be next for Treasure Chest?
Well, I've just been planning actually. So I think it's going to be a site-specific theatre show, and it's going to be it's going to be called To Catch a Predator, and it's going to be about catfishing.
Oh,
Is that another
interesting.
device piece?
Huh?
Another devised piece as well?
Yeah, I was having a chat with a friend, Stephanie. I was helping her apply for a MA in England, and we just stumbled into this conversation, and I was like, can I steal that? And so I think that's going to be the next thing, because theatres are just so hard to book and to communicate with here that I think maybe going off left field and doing something like that is going to be much easier and a challenge. But
Yeah, wow, I like the idea. Yeah, when will it be?
I don't know yet.
Fair enough.
And then
Okay, so tell us more about where people can watch the intervention. So how to find tickets. You guys started on February 26th, and you're on until March 6th. So tell us more. Am I correct?
Yeah, the 6th and 7th. Is it? Oh, hey, I don't know. Let me get my calendar out.
Next Friday.
March 6th.
Oh, I was right.
Oh, you're
Okay.
right. Sorry, you're right. And
Okay, so how do we find you? In fact, I would like to share the link once we publish the interview. The public will be able to scroll down on the description and find the link to the tickets. So you can click on the link, purchase your ticket, and be redirected straight to the play. So tell us where we can find tickets and how much and everything we need to know.
Okay, you can save money and book through me. So you can just send me a pay me, and it's $150 for the show. And also I'm selling tickets on Eventbrite. And so it's like $5 extra for booking fee. And I'll send you the link so you can click on, and you can head to my Instagram account and my Facebook page. I usually pop a few bits of info there as well. You can find out all about it.
That's great. That's good. And it's very important to stress the fact that theater companies in Hong Kong, but all over the world, have taken a big toll this year and last year, financially, emotionally. So supporting these kind of projects makes a big difference. So for those who are listening to us today, I would like to say, please support local theatre, please support the local artists, and please make a difference, because a lot of companies in Hong Kong do not receive any support from the government, and they don't receive any sponsorship, especially now that it's already tough to get sponsorship in normal times, but now will be even tougher. So with you purchasing a ticket, you really support the arts and the artists. So please do so. And it's important. And you know, just keep supporting the arts. Okay, so alrighty. Well, I look forward to seeing it because I remember the first one, and I kind of want to watch what you did with that. So, and like this whole thing about like having it at school, starting school with a woman as opposed to a man, and different dynamics. Like it sounds really, really interesting. So I really want to. I really want to watch it. So how does it work? Like, one gets the link and can watch anytime, or are there specific times to watch?
It's 8 p.m.
Okay.
On Friday and Saturday. So I'll send a link a couple of hours before, and you just log in and sit back and relax. And you can
Awesome.
join the cast afterwards if you want to for a chat.
Easy
Yeah.
enough. Great. Well, ladies, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to have you all. I hope it goes well. Break a leg, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.